It's no secret that I've been on a Rolex Explorer binge lately, but today I'll be sharing something that any enthusiast would find interesting. A watch that is rarer than the Rolex Commando, the Space Dweller. There are only 3 of these pieces known in existence, and when we look at the watch from a developmental point of view, this piece-unique watch set the foundation for the future generations of Rolex Explorer 2s. One of my subscribers alerted me to this piece, and it is really worth sharing. If we are to look at the generations of Rolex Explorer 2s, there are 3 camps: the 1655, the 16570, and the 216570. But you have to ask yourself the question, between the 1655 and the 16570, there was a big transitional gap. Now this watch that we will be looking at is that missing link. In fact, I believe that it inspired the whole generational change between the two. So Oliver Shepard is best known as a British explorer. He participated in the Trans-Globe expedition. He travelled from pole to pole, from Scotland to Greenland. He travelled to the North Pole and was a part of an expedition. And he travelled to the South Pole. And it so happened that at the time, he requested a certain Rolex Explorer to be made for him and a few of his team members. This Explorer is known as the Oliver Shepard Explorer. So apparently there are less than 4 made, and the original watch that he owned sold at auction for $34,000 in 2005. So can you only imagine how much the watch would be worth nowadays? Essentially what happened was that he didn't really like the layout of the generic 1655. Of course it is a very polarizing watch, pun intended. But what he decided to do was ask for a GMT Master dial to be set inside a 1655 case. And when we look at the watch, it really looks almost picture perfect as an Explorer 2 that we would come to know with the future generations. The only way we can really differentiate this watch from the future generations is the bezel insert. The watch still uses the same 1655 bezel insert and the integrated end link, which is more characteristic of the 1655 models at the time. But the combination of that bezel insert with that GMT dial looks far more appealing to me than the modern configuration that we see. I think the verticality of the lines around the bezel really add to the watch's Explorer aesthetic. It looks a lot more toned down in this configuration, and I think that's what benefited the whole exercise the most. But it is amazing that you sometimes never hear stories about these pieces, even though these watches are so rare and look just as generic as the watches that we see nowadays in the Explorer line. This model basically set the foundation for the development of the Explorer 2. Personally, I don't really like the combination of the Mercedes hands and everything else. There is a to and fro, because the Explorer 2 was a very unique watch originally. Now that it has been given this simplified dial layout, it looks like just your run-of-the-mill generic GMT. But at the same time, we can see and appreciate its purpose in the way it's been laid out like this. So I'd really like to thank the subscriber for highlighting this to me, because it really is quite a watch, quite the prototype, and a study in the developmental history of the Explorer 2 line.